it's the most bizarre period I've ever seen. But if you wonder what response he might give or what response a president should give, and he didn't give, we've got a video here where you'll find out how Joe Biden coped with this and what he wanted to happen.
We have extensive team coverage tonight for you, starting with reaction from the very top. News 6's Eric Sandoval is here now with how the president and president-elect took very different tones today.
They really did, but we have to say both of them appeared to be watching and waiting, as we all were in this situation. President-elect Joe Biden was first, though, to a microphone. And, with many people holding Trump flags and MAGA hats, Biden immediately called on the president to say something and to get them to stop.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution.
Now, earlier today, President Trump did address what was a peaceful protest, saying that he would never concede the race. After the U.S. Capitol was taken over, though, former administration officials, even some inside the White House, pleaded for him to speak out and say something. He was silent, except for a couple tweets you see here, until moments after Biden's address. He tweeted a video. In it, he told the crowd of people at the U.S. Capitol that he loved them, and he also told them to go home. He also made unsubstantiated claims that the election had been stolen and that he understood how these demonstrators felt. Now, within the last 30 minutes, Twitter has removed the president's video. The message, when you click on it, says the tweet violated Twitter's rules. Now, the president-elect claimed that people storming the U.S. Capitol didn't represent the rest of America. Listen.
The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not reflect a true America, do not represent who we are. What we're seeing are a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness. This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition, and it must end now. I call on this mob to pull back and allow the work of democracy to go forward. You've heard me say before in different contexts, the words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, the words of a president can inspire. At their worst, they can incite.
Something to keep in mind here. Biden will be inaugurated 2 weeks from today, usually in the exact same spot that these protests happened today. We're working right now to find out what kind of safety measures are going to be going into place ahead of that and ahead of what we expect to be more protests happening on that exact same.
It's what a president's supposed to carry on like. He's supposed to tell people to calm down. He's supposed to keep the temperature low.
Biden has a lot of criticism over this, I've been told, on this speech. And to me, he had to handle it in a certain way. He could have easily gone out kicking off and threatening this and threatening that, but he would have been as bad as Trump in some ways.
You would. What he didn't want. And this is the thing where I get why people did want him to go on there and go, this guy's an asshole. Why is he doing this? He's responsible for this. I want him locked up. The problem is, what if a pile of Democrats and left-leaning types formed a massive march and went down there to meet them? It would have been carnage, and no one's discussing that. No. It is a miracle that there wasn't the opposite end that turned up. It's a miracle that like 10,000 liberals didn't turn up with an attitude trying to stop the Trump guys doing this, the Trump supporters. And then you would have had an absolute carnage down there. It would have been absolutely unbelievable. They would have lost a life. Mike, would have been terrible.
What do you think his game was at? What do you think he?
I think he really, honestly believed that they would change those votes, and anybody that's in England that doesn't understand in the UK, what was going on yesterday. This is not a vote. This wasn't a vote. The electoral college votes got gained on by the results of the presidential election. Those results are then sent off to once all the late votes and all the overseas votes, everything's collated, the recounts and everything's finally over. It's sent to the electoral college, and on the 16th of December or whatever date they arrange, it was that this year, they then count them and issue a certificate. Those certificates are then sent to Washington, and then the Senate, who's always presided over by the vice president, on a ceremony at the beginning of the year, usually 2 weeks before the inauguration, as a procedure, nothing more, just a procedure, opens the certificates and just makes a note of them and officially declares it over with. And makes it final. It's a finalised thing. There is no power for the Vice President, Mike Pence, to alter any of that, no matter how much pressure went on. And Trump couldn't understand this. And no matter how many times people said something, this numpty, chuckle-headed motherfucker didn't get what was going on. He was too stupid to not wind people up. Now, if you want to find out what Trump was up to, Trump was obviously getting a lot of grief for this. And can I say, when he wound everybody up to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to go to the Capitol building, he said, "I'll be right there with you." Him and his son were saying that, and he sort of kind of disappeared. I mean, we can assume was he in that bunker again?
Bunker, yeah.
Was he in the bunker again in the White House? Yeah. But then he surfaced to give this video.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
My goodness.
We love you.
We love you.
We love you. These are rioters. They're rioting. They've caused they've multiple deaths, as we'll get into later. I mean, these people, he wound them up, and the National Guard ended up called in. There could have been thousands of people dead. But we love you. This is the Charlottesville stuff again. Charlottesville, good people on either side. It was the Ku Klux Klan, for God's sakes. And he said that about them, the good people on both sides. These are not good people that marched down to the Capitol. And I've had a view on this show where I've been going, well, it's not fair to blame people who've been lied to because they've been manipulated into that. I don't feel so. You should feel sorry for some people who've been lied to about Brexit and voted for Brexit. You should feel sorry for some people who voted for Trump and supported him. But do you know what? All bets are off now. I do not feel sorry for anybody that's supporting Trump now. You have had more than enough evidence now. These people that marched on Capitol that day, yesterday, those people knew enough. They knew enough to know better than to do that. They desecrated that place. Nobody did that. You're hearing stories that they were urinating everywhere. They were taking pictures, and they were the shittest revolutionaries I've ever seen. Yeah, because they were revolutionaries with selfie sticks.
I'll tell you what.
They were revolutionaries with selfie sticks. They were stopping in front of stuff. They were like, yeah, we're gonna just click. Well, have you ever seen anything like it? I mean, if they were any good, you'd have a bit of respect. There wasn't a Che Guevara amongst them.
No, but I'll tell you what I did notice quite a bit. You mentioned it there. As I came in the building, they were taking photo opportunities of the thing. However, I noticed quite a lot of them, in fact, the majority, were quite overweight.
Yeah.
They weren't the fittest army, was it, to run down?
And can I what was the ratio? Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. What was the ratio of white to other ethnicities?
I didn't see one black guy.
I don't remember seeing a black guy. I don't remember seeing anybody.
If them guys were black. We'll talk about the policing of this later on.
Oh, well, we're going to get into that later, aren't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can imagine a very different scenario if the makeup of the...
So we call them the chubby gang, the chubby warriors.
Yeah.
There's someone there. There's a girl there.
They just...
Full get-up, gas mask and the padding and all that.
Cliche.
And at the back, and he's thinking, you know, all your life you've been saving up and buying this equipment for that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, can I just say, a lot of images, and you're going to see some images on this show from it, and you'll notice that, again, that bloody flag again, that Confederate flag was being waved about left, right and centre. When do you ever see that flag other than a load of trouble, a load of violence, a load of trouble, or it's negative? It's the most negative symbol in the world. The minute you see it, you know you're dealing with a bunch of wankers. It's just, there's nothing positive about that. I mean, there are some negative connotations with our English flag, the St. George Cross flag, because it's been hijacked a little bit by a National Front and by a lot of soccer hooligans, football hooligans. But it's not even close to that flag. That flag stands for slavery. It stands for traitors. It's a flag of traitors. Those people wanted to break up and destroy the United States of America, and these people are obsessed with carrying it about. And you know what? There's only one explanation. There's only one explanation why you want that flag around you, where you want to wave that flag, and it's because you don't like blacks. Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button. Let's do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.